Imagine yourself walking through the green hills of the Thai countryside, a place where time seems to follow a different rhythm, a calmer, more organic, more connected to the earth. Here, where the warm breeze carries the scent of leaves and moist earth, a silent but powerful tradition lives on, the cultivation of jackfruit. This fruit, known for its impressive size and sweet taste, is not only a source of food, but a true symbol of cultural heritage, love of the land, and human resilience. What you will see now is not just an agricultural technique, it is a living story, shaped by sweat, patience, and wisdom that spans generations. In the heart of small Thai farms, where the sunrise illuminates well-tended rows of young trees, the journey of the jackfruit begins. But contrary to what many imagine, it all begins long before the tree. It all begins with a seed. Yes, a small, humble seed, one that carries within itself not only the potential of a giant fruit, but also a narrative that unites past, present, and future. These seeds are not chosen at random. They are selected with a trained, careful eye that recognizes in the most succulent and perfect fruits of the last harvest the ideal cradle for a new generation. It is as if each farmer sees in that small capsule of life a promise, the continuity of something greater than himself. There, between the calloused hands of those who work the land every day, that seed gains a new meaning, not only as a source of food, but as part of a legacy. Preparing the soil is almost a ritual, nothing mechanized or impersonal. Each bed is prepared by hand, with attention to detail, respecting the cycles of nature, the fertility of the land, and the needs of each plant. The soil is loosened with care, mixed with organic compounds prepared on the farm itself, often with residues from other harvests, bark, leaves, and cured manure. A true natural alchemy. It is an artisanal process where time and human touch make all the difference. When they are finally planted, these seeds find a temporary home. There, in the flower beds, they receive precise doses of water, sunbathing calculated by the farmer's own instincts, and, above all, constant attention. Germination is not just a biological process, but almost a magical moment. Seeing a seed crack, open itself to the world, and transform into a delicate seedling is, for these farmers, like watching the birth of a child, and each one of them is treated with the same care. As these seedlings grow, they reach a crucial point. Transplanting. One of the most delicate moments in the life of a jackfruit tree. They are taken to the field, to the land where they will spend years growing, taking root, becoming living monuments of abundance. This moment is almost ceremonial. Farmers carefully choose the spacing between the trees, taking into account the size they will reach, the amount of light each one will need, the type of soil in each part of the farm. Nothing is done haphazardly. It is the science of agriculture meeting the ancestral sensitivity of the country people. And then begins the long, silent cycle of growth. For months, sometimes years, farmers observe, care for, prune, irrigate, and protect the plants from pests and bad weather. Each jackfruit tree becomes an extension of the lives of those who cultivate it. They learn to read signs in the leaves, to sense the weather through the wind, to predict rainfall, and to adapt their practices to the climate. It is a continuous dance with nature, where each step must be taken carefully so that the end result is a spectacle of flavor and abundance. The techniques used are refined. Although they may seem simple to urban eyes, they are the result of knowledge passed down from generation to generation, honed with the experience of hundreds of harvests. Techniques such as selective pruning, the use of natural pesticides made with herbs and ashes, and irrigation control to simulate periods of drought and thus induce flowering are intelligent strategies that guarantee healthier, more resistant and tasty fruits. But the most impressive thing may not be the technique itself, but the emotional bond that farmers have with their trees. It is common to hear stories of families that have been growing jackfruit for decades, that know each tree by name, that know which ones produce earlier, which ones prefer more shade, which ones have a sweeter aroma. It is not just agricultural production. It is a living relationship, a bond that unites humans with nature in a profound and respectful way. And then the long-awaited moment arrives, the harvest. Seeing a ripe jackfruit hanging heavy from its branches is almost like receiving a sacred reward. The cut must be made carefully, so as not to harm the tree and to preserve the fruit. The aroma that escapes when the skin is opened is indescribable. A mix of sweetness and freshness, almost as if nature were offering a gift wrapped in months of care and dedication. Here, jackfruit is not just a product to be sold in markets. It is part of the local diet, yes, but it is also given as gifts, shared at parties, used in ceremonies, and offered to visitors as a symbol of hospitality. Its cultivation unites families, sustains communities, strengthens the rural economy, and above all, keeps alive a way of living in harmony with the land. In cooking, this versatile fruit takes many forms. It is eaten ripe, in desserts, or still green, cooked in savory dishes. It can be used to make jackfruit jam, juices, fillings, preserves, and even vegetable meat, used as a substitute in vegetarian dishes due to its mild flavor and fibrous texture. Its skin and seeds are also used in a logic of full use, typical of those who respect and value everything the land has to offer. More than just a fruit, jackfruit is a reflection of the Thai rural soul. It reflects the resilience, patience, wisdom and affection of a people who do not bow to the rush of modernity, but who remain faithful to their rhythms, their ancient knowledge, and their intimate connection with the soil. And perhaps that is why this cultivation is so surprising, because it goes beyond technique. It moves, teaches, and inspires. And so, among seeds chosen with care, soil prepared by human hands and trees treated as part of the family, the Thai jackfruit is born, not just a fruit, but a true celebration of rural life. When we discover this process, we understand that agriculture is not just a means of producing food. It is an art, a philosophy, a way of being, and the jackfruit with all its exuberance is the sweetest and most impressive testimony of all this. In the heart of rural life, where every dawn is an invitation to work and every piece of land is measured in sweat and hope, there is a gesture that, although it may seem simple, carries enormous importance for the farmer: removing weeds. Amid the silence of the mornings on the plantations, when the sunlight is still soft and the earth exudes that scent of moisture and life, farmers bend down one by one around the trees, attentive to what is growing without permission. It is not a job that makes the headlines or that catches the attention of passers-by, but it is an act that sustains an entire chain of care and nourishment that will, in due time, make nature return the effort in the form of sweet and generous fruits. With steady hands, calloused by years of practice and love for the land, farmers carefully pull out each intrusive plant, those that insist on emerging between the roots of the jackfruit trees. It is not just about cleaning the soil, but about protecting it. These weeds compete directly for the same nutrients and water that jackfruit trees need to grow healthily. They silently drain what could strengthen the tree, weakening the soil and suffocating the foundation of everything that is to come. For this reason, the task of removing them is done with almost ceremonial dedication, a true act of zeal that requires not only physical strength but constant attention. It is there, in this work that is almost invisible to those who do not live the routine of the field, that the secret of the tree's robustness lies. The soil, free of competitors, breathes better. It allows oxygen to circulate, water to penetrate more easily, and nutrients to follow to the roots without obstacles. This clean and well-ventilated environment becomes the perfect cradle for the full development of jackfruit trees. And like all well-cared-for life forms, they respond. They grow taller, greener, stronger. Alongside the removal of weeds, there is a whole ritual of care that extends over entire seasons. Irrigation is carried out with precision, often using traditional methods that take advantage of the rain and the natural terrain. Fertilizer is prepared by hand, with organic compounds produced right there on the farm, from food scraps, manure, and dried leaves. It is a way of respecting the cycle of life, of giving back to the land what was taken from it in a continuous and fair exchange. In this process, each step has its time. Each action, however simple it may seem, is part of a larger whole. Farmers learn to read the signs of nature, the tone of the leaves, the texture of the soil, the direction of the wind, as if reading an ancient and sacred book. And it is with this wisdom that the jackfruit trees flourish day after day, preparing for their great mission, to offer their fruits to the world. Time passes, and with it, the trees take shape. The branches thicken, the leaves multiply, and then, at a certain moment that only the most trained eyes can accurately predict, the first sign that the harvest is approaching appears. Small fruits appear and grow rapidly, swelling with water, sugar, and vitality. The jackfruits take the form of hanging giants, some reaching an impressive 90 centimeters in length, weighing up to 30 kilos. They are true green jewels, swaying gently in the wind. But it takes more than strength to harvest a jackfruit. It takes sensitivity. The farmer approaches the tree, observes the color of the skin, feels its firmness, and then comes the final test. With a light touch or a calculated tap, he listens. The hollow, unmistakable sound is like a song that announces that the fruit is at the perfect point, neither before nor after. There is the ripe jackfruit, ready to be picked. Harvesting takes place in the early hours of the day, when the heat is not yet severe and the light is ideal for the delicate work that lies ahead. Using a sharp knife, the farmer makes a precise cut in the stem, releasing the fruit without damaging the tree. Another worker, positioned below, supports the jackfruit, preventing it from falling and becoming damaged. The entire process is coordinated with almost choreographed care. There is no room for haste or carelessness. After being harvested, the jackfruits are carefully placed on carts, which head towards the marketing centers or to small processing centers in the communities themselves. Each fruit transported there carries months of work, entire days of dedication, nights of planning, and countless hours of waiting. When they finally reach their destination, they are not just fruit. They are living proof of the dedication of a people who make the land their ally and agriculture their way of life. In the street markets of Thailand, these fruits gain new life. There, among colorful stalls and intense aromas, the jackfruits are opened by hands as experienced as those who planted them. The golden, fragrant pulp is sliced with skill, packaged with care, and sold as one of the country's most beloved street foods. It is an explosion of sweetness that wins over passers-by, a flavor that holds within itself the entire journey that began with a silently planted seed.